Mm-mm-mm. You see, Robyn, you see what happens when you want to discuss your marriage on Patreon instead of discussing it on a reality TV show that you're on, that I'm assuming you're getting paid really well for. You'd rather get paid $3, and that's basically a bag of chips. You chose that, and now look. So tell me, Robyn, tell me, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because now look, you lost your job allegedly, and now look where we're at. So the season finale of The Real Housewives of Potomac season 8 just aired this past Sunday. The following morning, news broke out that we lost 3 housewives, one being Candiace, the other one allegedly being Robyn and Juan Dixon. You know, that's still up in the air, but Candiace, it's confirmed. She put out a statement to E! News. It says, I'm about to read it. As I embark on a new chapter after 6 remarkable years with The Real Housewives of Potomac, I am filled with gratitude for the enriching friendships, personal growth, and moments of introspection that have defined this journey. The drive-back singer, not the drive-back singer. She has other songs. You know, they could have put the fine wine singer. The fine wine singer told People on March 25th. With a whirlwind of new opportunities and responsibilities on my plate, I have decided to take a break. She decided, right? She decided to take a break from The Real Housewives of Potomac. However, this is not a farewell. Oh, Candiace, you foolish, foolish woman. This is not a farewell, but a see you later. You know, it's so bittersweet. It's very bittersweet because I do like Candiace, and she was a big portion of the show. But I feel like it's more bittersweet, more so because obviously Giselle and even Robyn, but mostly Giselle, was trying to ice her and Wendy off the show, and I feel like Giselle successfully did it. Even though Candiace says that it's her decision, I feel like it all came down to her issue with Giselle. Candiace has been trying to get pregnant, and she knows that by being on the show, it's not healthy for her mental health, her body, especially a pregnancy, if she's constantly the target every single episode, every other season, alongside Wendy. Like, could you imagine trying to get pregnant? It's supposed to be a peaceful moment in your life, yet you go on a cast trip with a cast full of women who don't even like you. You breathe the wrong way and they'll make a big issue out of it. And I don't see Giselle having sympathy for Candiace. Even if she was pregnant, she'll still find a reason to try to ice her off the show one way or another. And you know, it's crazy to me because Candiace's music career, it was just now sort of getting started the past 2 seasons. And for her to just walk away from it now, you know, when it's finally going somewhere, you would think that she would want some more exposure on the show before she makes that final leap. But you know, that's what makes me question, like, is this really your decision? Because, you know, obviously, Bravo, they let all the delusional housewives make their little statements like, oh, you know, I'm walking away from the show. This was my decision, even though they really got fired. So, you know, what does everybody think? Did she get fired or did she walk away willingly? Now, where does this leave Wendy? Because realistically, her and Candiace were only bonding with each other because everybody else was trying to ice both of them out together at the same time. So they had to rely on each other. But now that Candiace is off the show, Wendy's kind of on an island by herself. So is Giselle if Robyn allegedly is gone. You know, then again, she has Karen, but Karen, you know, she's kind of like a flip-flop. You know, what was her confusing tagline? I don't ride the fence, you ride me. So she's too busy about people riding her for some reason. What does that even mean? Then we have Robyn, who allegedly has been fired. There has been no confirmation of this, but Robyn, don't you dare even get on Instagram and say, oh, it was my decision to walk away from the show. Stop. Because we as the audience, we're going to see right through the BS. We're going to know that it's lies. Like, no, they chose to fire you. Candiace, you know, we could kind of believe that. You, no. That's going to be very interesting to see Giselle also on an island by herself, because usually she has her sidekick, or at least her knight in shining armor, Robyn, right next to her to do her dirty work. But now she's going to be by herself. Well, technically, if Aneka comes back, Aneka is basically going to be the new Robyn. We saw how she was this season, and she was basically up Giselle's ass, so I could see her being the new Robyn. And I was curious to see how Robyn will be on a season by herself without Giselle, because I feel like Robyn, she is cool, she is funny, she has her moments without Giselle, but the second that she gets around Giselle, she becomes somebody else, and that was her downfall. You know, you didn't have your own personality, like you did, but then when Giselle came into the mix, all of a sudden both of you and her just morphed into one person, and you know, you were kind of in her shadow. And you know, that, and on top of the way you handled the situation with Juan, I'm pretty sure that the producers, they're still not happy about that, the way you handled that by putting that on Patreon. You know, if you would have handled the whole cheating thing the way Mia and Gordon handled their hot mess of a marriage, on the finale this past Sunday, maybe you still would have been around for next season, but yet here we are. You know, you better hope that people are buying your embezzled hats. If anything, I believe that Escape and SWV just announced their tour together. You can message Candy and say, hey, me and Juan, we don't have jobs right now. Can we be your backup singers? I can definitely see Robyn just singing her life away to Juan. All I really need is understanding, but you don't want to meet me halfway. And Juan, he's just there on stage looking at her like, you know, if anything, he could bring his mistress on stage as well, and he could sing, you're my little secret, and that's how we should keep it, and everybody's lying about you and I. Like, I see potential with this. If anything, you could ask Candy for permission, like, hey, can me and Juan and the mistress, can me and her perform The Boy Is Mine by Monica and Brandy? And Juan, he could be right in the middle. Like, I could see potential with that. So, you know, go contact Candy quickly, because I believe their tour is about to start. I feel like whatever they do moving forward is going to breathe new life onto the show, especially if they add Kiarna. Kiarna, I love Kiarna. I feel like she'll be a good addition. And you know who else? You know, walk with me, walk with me. I feel like Omarosa, she'll be such a good addition to the show. I've been a fan of her ever since she first got onto reality TV until she went into the White House, and then it just went for her because I'm not sure what was going on with her. But I believe she lives in the DC area. And you know, honestly, it doesn't really matter because only like Karen and Aneka live in Potomac. So I mean, that really doesn't matter. You know, it could be the Real Housewives of just live close to Potomac. So I think that she fits the standards. I feel like she should be onto the show. Now, her versus Karen, that will be interesting because Karen, Omarosa is nothing to play around with. Candiace, you will be missed. I liked her on the show. Robyn, you will also be missed. But you know, maybe sometime in the future we could see, who am I kidding? But that's that. Let me know what everybody thinks about these announcements. Then we have Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Sean Combs, aka Puffy. And Diddy has always been on my shit list ever since 2009 when he decided to break up one of my favorite... I'm sorry, I get emotional talking about it because I'm still not over it. You know, it's still a wound I'm trying to heal to this very day, but... You know, when he decided to break up Danity Kane, but unfortunately, they're just one of many of his artists that he fucked over in the past. And not too long ago, Cassie, she put out a lawsuit against Diddy stating that he put her through a bunch of horrific and traumatizing situations while they were together in their relationship for many, many years. And when I read the lawsuit, I believed every single detail because this has always been a conversation. These speculations, conspiracy theories have always been there for Diddy, but for some reason it took this long for him to get exposed. So Cassie, she got the balls going. They settled their lawsuit underneath 24 hours. That right there was the first red flag. The way Diddy wanted to settle that underneath 24 hours and not defend himself if it wasn't true, right? So after that, things got kind of quiet for Diddy in a way. But this week, things picked up again because we saw Homeland Security. They actually went to one of his houses in LA. They raided the entire house. They handcuffed everybody, including 2 of his sons. And I don't know too much about Homeland Security, but I do know that if they're onto you or if they're looking for something, obviously it's not because, oh, you know, we're bored, we have nothing to do on a Tuesday morning. Let's just go to Diddy's house and destroy it and handcuff everybody. So obviously they've been following him for a while now. If this is their next step in their investigation, they're investigating him for allegedly being involved in trafficking. And I completely believe it. I don't put it past Diddy to be involved in something like that. So where was Diddy when his whole entire house was being raided and his children were being arrested? Well, he was at an airport. We saw a video of him, you know, that they leaked. He was walking back and forth. He was pacing back and forth. He looks worried. And as of now, in real time, I'm not really sure where Diddy is. I'm not sure if he's actually on the run, if they tipped him off like, hey, Homeland Security is coming to your house. You need to run. Because again, I wouldn't put it past him sacrificing both his children. Like, oh, you take the fall. You know, you get handcuffed. I'm leaving. And now I believe he's on a private plane, you know, heading to an island or something like that. So I'm not sure if he's avoiding the Homeland Security, the police in general, from trying to get to him. And as all of this is happening, they arrest one of Diddy's alleged drug mules at the airport. And they found him with a bag full of cocaine and full of edibles. And they arrested him. He's out now on a $2,500 bond. But Yeah, Diddy, this is not looking good for you. You know, on top of Cassie's lawsuit, all the rumors and speculations on you, now this, and then it gets worse because now we get an article, you know, a document from the court with involving his ex or current girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, Young Miami, aka Caresha, because obviously Young Miami, we're just not calling her that anymore, huh? But Young Miami, Caresha. You know, when she first got with Diddy, I'm just like, yeah, this is just not going to end well. Like, Caresha, run while you still can, but unfortunately, it's too late for that. And I feel like her proximity to Diddy is gonna be her downfall as well. Like, she's also gonna go down with him. So now in this document, it claims that she was transporting pink cocaine for him, which honestly, I didn't even know that it came in colors. Like, now we have options? You know, she was transporting that. On top of that, in the document, it doesn't even claim that, you know, she's his girlfriend, his wife, his whatever. It says that she's basically a worker and a mistress to Diddy. And she was basically sleeping with all of his employees, his workers, and everybody in the house. And I'm like, you know, it's just crazy to me. Like, Caresha, like, what is going on here? You know, just, you know, and I say that because I'm a fan of her, or at least I was a fan of her. You know, you're on your own now, but it's just such a shame. You know, I saw a tweet right before I started recording this video saying, why is everybody surprised at this? You know, she obviously raps about this, you know, that she's into stuff like this. So what's the problem? Which, I mean, I don't know, you know, lyrics is one thing, but reality is a whole other. And there's a YouTuber by the name of Sloan. She's been going viral ever since Cassie put out the lawsuit against Diddy, because Sloan is a psychic medium. And me personally, I believe in mediums. I believe in psychics. I believe in all of that. She has been predicting a lot of Diddy's downfall, basically. You know, months ago, she predicted that, you know, all of this was going to come to light. She even said, again, a couple of months ago, that something was going to happen with Diddy around the time of Easter. And look what's happening now. You know, Easter, I believe, is this Sunday. And look what's happening to Diddy this week. She also said that Jay-Z, you know, Beyonce's husband, that he's the next one in line. And I believe it. You know, honestly, you know, it's about time, because I feel like Diddy, like I said before, I feel like Diddy's behavior, you know, we've all known about his behavior for so many years. And we don't even, at least I don't know him personally, yet I've known about this type of behavior for years. And I'm pretty sure that celebrities, the people around him, you know, other musicians in the music industry, all these celebrities, I'm pretty sure that they're all aware of it too. And yet for some reason, they all stay quiet to it. Obviously, Diddy, he was, or he is, a person with power and money. Well, money, I'm not sure now so much, but, you know, especially, you know, all these compilation videos of Diddy being a creep, you know, the things that he says, his behavior, and, you know, it comes off very suspicious, especially that one video with him and Justin Bieber, when Justin was like, what, 15, 16, when he first got into the music industry, and Diddy, he took a liking to him, and he was over his house, I believe. Diddy kept being creepy to him, like, oh yeah, me and you are gonna spend the whole day together for 24 hours. I'm gonna show you all these places, all these things that we're gonna do, but it's just gonna be between me and you, and it's gonna be private. And again, I'm like, you're a grown-ass man. What do you want with a 15, 16-year-old? You know, it was just so creepy. And, you know, I don't know. Whatever Diddy is being accused of, I believe it. I believe all of this, and just so disgusting. And going back to the pink cocaine, so I had to Google what exactly that was. And it actually is cocaine. It's cocaine mixed with ecstasy or some type of other drug infused together to make it stronger. And it actually looks pink, like it's actually pink cocaine. So that's what Caresha was transferring, you know, to Diddy. And Caresha, I'm just so disappointed. I'm so disappointed, because you had a good podcast. I'm pretty sure that that's in the toilet now. Your career down the toilet as well, because you're always going to be associated to Diddy. You know, even the city girls, you know, to some extent, the city girls are always going to be connected to Diddy now. So moving forward, I don't even know what happens with her either. Like, do you also go down with Diddy, you know, because you're associated to him? Obviously, I'm pretty sure that she's aware of most of his behavior, and you're just okay with that because of financial gain. And lastly, let's talk about the unfortunate situation that happened in Maryland, in Baltimore specifically, on the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So this happened about 2 nights ago, around like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I actually witnessed this in real time because I was still awake. I was looking at all the tweets, and I'm like, what is going on? What's happening? And the video is extremely haunting. It's extremely scary. It's this big ass long bridge. Next thing you know, you see a ship heading towards the bridge, and clearly it's not gonna go underneath it, right? So I'm thinking, okay, what's about to happen? What's going on here? The ship goes completely dark. It has no lights on it. Next thing you know, it hits the actual bridge, And then you just see the entire long bridge. It just goes in and it just collapses inward and it just goes down into the water on top of the ship as well. And then the whole entire bridge, it had lights on it and everything, right? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It goes completely pitch black. Everything is just completely dark and destroyed. And now it's just this open space in the middle of, the water. So according to my research, the ship had just left, or it just had departed from the destination like 20-30 minutes ago. They lost power. They couldn't really direct anything. I believe the captain or whoever was driving the boat, they tried to put the anchor out to stop the ship from, moving in any type of direction. Obviously, that didn't work. It continued going onto the bridge. They tried to contact the people on the bridge like, hey, get out of the way, stop the traffic. And I believe that they did stop a lot of the traffic from, going on top of the bridge. There were 8 employees working on the bridge at the time that it collapsed. And only 2 of the 8 employees made it out alive. The rest of the 6, they were presumed dead because they didn't find their bodies. And that is just really, really sad. It's so heartbreaking. Like, it's just such an unfortunate situation. And, the question could be said, did this big ass ship not see the bridge? Like, how do you just crash into it? So obviously they lost power, they lost control, and the ship, from a distance, it looks like it could be tiny. Like, okay, why is it doing so much damage? But, people have been putting the ship into perspective online that this is a really, really tall ship. It's a big ass boat. It has a bunch of heavy cargo on it. So obviously this big boat, this big heavy boat ship hitting this skinny bridge, of course is gonna do damage. It's not just gonna hit it and, oh, that's okay. But just to see the whole entire thing collapse inward like that and just go down into the water. And now, as of now, the employees that were working on the ship, they're still on the ship. Why? Because they're like, oh, well, if the ship, if it starts sinking, we need to have employees on there just in case to stop it. Which, again, I'm not an expert with this type of, information or anything, but I just don't think that they should be on the ship. I just feel like that's very risky. It's already bad enough that we already lost, people, due to the whole situation. But now you're putting these people at risk by still being on the ship. Like, just let the ship go down at that point. But just a really, really sad situation. I saw some people just being very inconsiderate saying, oh, well, how am I going to get to work now? And I'm like, people just died. Like let's have some common sense and some patience, please. Like, at least you're still alive. But this has always been one of my biggest fears too, driving on big ass bridges like this in New York or in New Jersey City specifically. I get extremely paranoid driving on bridges like this because I don't like seeing that amount of water, me driving over that like that. Like, that's just too much. So, but that's that. Let me know what you all thought about all these news from the Real Housewives of Potomac, Robyn getting the boot, or walking away, and Candiace walking away. Let me know what you think about this whole situation with Diddy and Caresha and the drug mule. What do you think is next for Diddy? And, let me know what you think about this whole situation with the bridge. It's just very, very unfortunate. Like, just so, so scary. But I'm wishing the people on the ship the best. I hope they get off it very, very soon. But let me know down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.